Okay, guys, I'm gonna tell you a quick story I never, I guess, told a mass amount of people. Like, I used to say the story um, between of like two speeches, never get into details. So I was 15-year old, 2000 years, 2022, right now years 2024. Uh, I guess I was like 15 or 16 years old. So I was born in the middle of the year. So when I started this journey, actually, I was like 15-year old. I guess like after 1 month and 15 days after I started my internship, I had an internship in one company the beginning of the summer, and by the July of 15th, guess what? I turned 16, so it's like, 15, 16 anyway. So yeah, I had an internship in one local agency in my country, and I and me and my family didn't had money to buy a coding course for like $600. It was pretty expensive when my mom was making like $200 $300 a month, and all of her money was basically getting spent on other stuff, like basically like food and stuff like that. And I was watching this Instagram reel. um, After I made some push-ups, I kind of like allow myself to get a little bit of dopamine, and even that dopamine is like, it's a useful dopamine to a certain degree, like, because it's not just funny videos and cat videos I watch. It's like videos about like self-improvement and stuff. And I watched one reel which says, you know teacher says you're never gonna be successful, and the teacher's car and like mine in like 5 years, something like that. And there's like Toyota and Porsche, um, so it's something I get used to hear, but I never kind of think deeply. There was one incident which happened while I was going through this internship. This internship in general, as a whole, wasn't the kind of experience I would like to remember. It was really rough, and they used to ask me the kind of questions like, why you're sad, like, I mean, they used to ask stuff like, why you're sad. But the thing is, if you are criticizing me for every single mistake I make instead of teaching, right? So what should have I actually have would have done? Like, I was learning how to code from, like, in practice. I was just making a lot of mistakes, right? I didn't know how to code. I didn't have money. I had just some kind of valuable information I learned from YouTube tutorials, and I realized that I'm spending like a lot of time watching these YouTube tutorials, and I didn't know what I know right now. So what happened is that I thought that the best thing I can do is um, go and find a mentor. And the way I thought the best way to find a mentor is just DMing on social media to developers and programmers. And I did that. So I got one reply from one guy who redirected me to this place I'm talking about. So it wasn't actually his business. The problem was that this place was a little toxic, I would say, not only to me, but all the workers. We had like people who are 18, 19, and like um, graphic designers. It was actually SMMA agency, which had like a lot of clients, but all of them were like $500, like $1,000 a month at max. I don't know why they priced so cheap. I believe that they could have charged more, but they didn't. And yeah, I just joined them as an intern, but willing to work as a front end, or you name it, like web developer. I wanted to learn how to code, right? And they were not teaching me, obviously. They were coming into this place to work and not to teach. So what happened is that I was just making anything I could, right? I was just trying my best. Um, One day this thing happened, which is just crazy. Like the light turned off. It was daytime, and one of the programmers, obviously, when if there is no light, the PC is not gonna work, right? So what happened? I just came up to them. I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to gain some knowledge, but instead I heard something like, "Hey kid, I see you struggling in coding and you kind of suck at coding." Like I'm saying it in a nice way. They didn't say that in a nice way, but they said something like, "Bro, you suck at coding. I think you have to change to something else. Like you are not gonna become a developer. You have to change it to marketing, or like you have to do something else with your life," kind of way, you know. Um, and that just stick with me. I I am proud that I just went through that experience and I didn't say anything, and I like kind of get back to that place the next day. Until then, it was getting closer to autumn. I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess it's called autumn, right? So basically September, and it's getting colder and colder. I got sick. It was a flu. I got like 38, 37 temperature, and I couldn't just come to the work. And I said that I informed them about it, right? Um, but what happened is that after I kind of got a little better, but not like fully recovered, I got back. I tried my best. I got back, and it's like hour from my home, hour on the way, standing on your feet with temperature. Um, so I went there finally, and they laughed at me. They were not happy about that I showed up. And they when they saw me, they said like, you know, hey, I mean, he came back, like something like that, you know. Kinda as if I just disappeared and then just came back, like because I didn't, but they behaved a certain way. So as I said, you like it's a very unfriendly place, and I got a lot of scars. And the biggest one so far was, I guess, these two. So one thing I wanted to show you guys, it's a mindset shift which happened today. Okay, so we got I think it was um okay, it's not Corolla. Trying to remember. Okay, I remember for sure this one. Okay, this one I remember 100%. Um, okay. Yep. So yeah, this one. What was the says Toyota? It wasn't. I guess it wasn't Corolla, but it's a Tashkent in my city. Um. So I guess you basically got what I'm saying. The owner of that agency were driving Toyota. Okay, so the owner, which had the most amount of income, were driving Toyota. He had a Toyota. The guy who said, Okay, the guy who said that I won't become a developer, and you can say that predicted that I'm not gonna achieve success, was driving this car. And yeah, one thing to mention that these guys were way older than me. So the guy who was driving this car had like two daughters, I guess. So they were over age of like 30 or something like that. This bro also had like you know, he was pretty old. I guess it was like 35, 36. And there was another dude driving this car. So it's another Chevrolet. Chevrolet basically, it's like 20 grand, 30 grand car. Um, Actually, let's even take a look how much this one costs. It's not loading. Okay, let me turn it to Unite. What? Shish. Stop. I don't know why am I doing this thing right now. Honestly, like there is no point in me. Yeah, as you can see, like 10 grand, 8 grand. I mean, this is the used ones. I guess he bought a brand new one, so it probably cost like 20 grand, twice the price. Um, but yeah, this bro, I didn't have as many problems with him, but every time I used to ask a question, he used to be like, he used to first like criticize and like throw some shit on the code I wrote. Obviously, I didn't understand what I'm doing, and that's why I was writing a shitty code. As much as I could, I was doing what I could. Um, and then yeah, maybe like giving some you know valuable information on how to fix that code. So yeah, again, um, it's crazy. Like I never thought about the kind of cars these people were driving, about the level of success these people have achieved, and actually like um, I guess this is the first time me making a video about this past experience. um, it's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't get paid any money to what I was doing out there. And yeah, man, I mean, I was like cleaning windows, throwing trash, I was doing everything. um, Washing some dishes sometimes. And yeah, man, I had a good intention, right? Anyway, I am proud that I went through this thing, so I have the scars right now, so that I can like I have a great motivation to succeed. You know what I mean? I have a really, really nice motivation to get this freaking coding job, to achieve success in my agency. Like, all of the things, you know, these scars and pain are not gonna help you when you're on top. They're gonna help you when you're at the bottom. They're gonna be the kind of like, if you're driving a car, let me like change to full screen. Okay, let's say you're driving a car, right? And there's like something here, like something like can bite you out or something like that, right? So you're driving a car, and as far as you are like going straight, and this thing has no problems with you. As far as you're like doubting yourself, as far as you're like, um, when you start to doubt yourself, when you start to like being lazy a little bit, when you start to like, doing some garbage, like you get closer and closer, and this pain, you forget, but I'm here to remind you that these people didn't believe in you, and you gotta show them they're wrong. Yeah, man, I think that's enough for today. Peace out.